What exactly does it mean to step out on faith? That's our topic today on The Beat. Hey everyone, my name is Alan Parr. Thank you all so much for visiting my channel. Here on The Beat, we release a new video every single Tuesday, and today we are attempting to answer the question, what exactly does it mean to step out on faith? And so in order to get this question, we want to go to the greatest chapter that has ever been written on faith, Hebrews chapter 11, and we want to zoom in on the life of a man named Abraham, and I want to point out 5 principles about what it means to step out on faith. Number 1, faith obeys the Word of God. I want to show you something here that many people miss. Notice it says that Abraham, when he was called by God, then he left everything. It also says Noah, whenever he was warned by God, he then went and built an ark. And so these men just didn't come up with an idea, make a major life decision and say, hey God, I'm stepping out on faith and I need you to bless this. No, their decision was first and foremost preceded by a word from God. And so if you are not certain that God is calling you to do something, in other words, you don't have a strong sense or leading that God has taken you in a certain direction, then stepping out on faith is not for you. Number 2, faith is willing to delay gratification. Notice it says here that Abraham would one day later on receive the land as inheritance. And so whenever you and I step out on faith, we have to be willing to accept the fact that whatever it is we're trusting God to receive, it may or may not happen for some time. I can think of Abraham, who took 25 years for him to see the promise that God had given him. Joseph, it took him 13 years. And so if you are one that needs an immediate blessing right now, then stepping out on faith may not be for you. Number 3, faith moves forward even though we do not have all the facts. Notice it says here that Abraham obeyed even though he had no idea where he was going. Stepping out on faith means that you understand that God only gives you enough information to see right in front of you, and he oftentimes conceals the details of the journey along the way. And so if you are the type of person that needs all of the facts before you move forward, then stepping out on faith is not for you. Number 4, faith is willing to leave that which is comfortable. Notice it says here that Abraham left everything and was willing to live as a stranger in a foreign land. Now this one is very difficult for many of us because we value comfort, we value predictability, and we value certainty. But the problem with that is when we value comfort so much, we seldom see God's power working in our lives. And so when God calls us to an act of faith, he oftentimes calls us to leave everything that we're comfortable with, everything that we're familiar with, our families, our jobs, our careers, our financial situation, oftentimes a romantic relationship, which is the reason why it is so critical that we have the confidence and assurance that God is leading us in this direction, because we are making decisions that could alter the very course of our lives. And so if you are one that values comfort, then stepping out on faith is not for you. And number 5, faith believes in the supernatural power of God. Notice it describes Sarah as being past childbearing age, and it says that Abraham was as good as dead. I heard somebody say that faith will often command you to do what you have convinced yourself can never be done. And so if whatever it is you are believing and trusting God to do, if it's something that you think you can do by yourself without God, then that is not faith. Faith is believing that God can resurrect and change a dead situation no matter how hopeless it gets. And so if you are the type of person that can only see what is natural and not see the supernatural, then stepping out on faith is not for you. Now, I'm not sure what specific decisions that you may have coming up, but I want to encourage you to pray about it, sincerely pray about it, fast about it, seek spiritual leadership at your church, and if after doing all of that, you feel deep down within you that God is leading you in a certain direction and it's consistent with the Word of God, I want to encourage you to step out on faith and trust that God will lead you every step of the way. If you know somebody that has a major decision to make, or maybe they're just confused about what it means to truly step out on faith, feel free to share this video with them. Also, if you haven't done so already, I would love it if you'd head over to my YouTube channel and subscribe. Check out some of the other videos while you're there. Hey, thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you next time on The Beat.